Are we live? Are we live? There we go. We're live. Hello, hello, everybody. This is your host, Joey Salvador. This is another episode of the Ordinary Joe Show. Today, we're kicking off and warming up, rebooting. That's what I'm trying to say. Rebooting our freestyle indie, featuring stories and personalities in the indie music scene. Not only music, we'll also touch on like filmmakers and photographers and book authors, just the way we did it back in 2018. We're just rebooting it. And very, very timely, my very first guest today will be none other than Juicebox Brass Band band member, Mr. Kyle Winjack. Kyle, come on in, buddy.
Hey,
Hello. There you
how's
go.
it
Look
going?
at that good looking guy. I used to be the only. I used to have a monopoly of the good looks. Now that I got you on, I have to share the screen with a competition. How are you doing, Kyle?
I'm great. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's crazy, huh? Crazy times.
Oh yeah. It's really weird, but
So
been
yeah,
producing a lot because can't play live shows so much. So that's been good.
yeah.
Well, the
Well,
producing part, anyways. It
the
sucks not
producing
being
part.
able to play for people in clubs and stuff, but I've
Well,
been doing
yeah.
it on the street a bit.
Mm-hmm. Hey, are you still allowed to busker? You're saying?
Um, I haven't even been busking per se. Just like some patio concerts. Those since the most recent lockdown, like what was it, 2 weeks ago now? Since that, even that's been shut down. But there were patio concerts going on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you would just like bars would hire you, and then you would set up like across the
Just at the
street
patio.
from the bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless
But
it was a really big patio, then maybe they'd have a room on it.
that would have worked well in November. We had a lot of warm days back in November, but now, oh, we still have here and there some warm days. You can still probably do some patio, performances, but it's very tight. It's very, my business too. I'm a digital marketer. My business is promoting, those big concerts and events, and no clients since March. I
Hmm.
had, I had my, actually, I had my biggest client just before March ends, like mid March. I had my biggest client. Right after March, I'm supposed to have them. I was talking to you and what's his name again? Our buddy when we met at Starbucks.
Casey.
Casey. I
Yeah.
was telling you about the big network in the Philippines, right?
Right. Yeah.
Finally got them as a client, not to produce my show, but as a client to produce to promote their movies, Filipino movies that they roll out in theaters here. I made a big contract on March, and they told me, you know what, Joe, we love what you did so much for us. We have about 13 more movies in the year that we want you to promote. And wow, I was like, wow, this is good. It's consistent income, consistent revenues. And then the lockdown came. Actually, they got double whammy. They got shut down by Congress in the Philippines
Oh.
because they're the biggest network, and I remember I told you they butt heads with the president, and the president found a lot of dirt in their taxes, so they got shut down by Congress, by the Senate,
Yeah.
and then the pandemic came as well. So they're my biggest client, and now they're shut down. So since March, I didn't have any live events to promote and everything. So it's crazy, but the good thing is you can only do so much. So I did the online podcasting. I featured a lot of people, and I didn't I didn't know. I thought this is just something I will do on the side while waiting for the lockdown to be lifted. But it became actually more than I expect. There's so many people that I wouldn't get as a guest before, like CBC news anchors and all that.
Hmm.
I was able to do that, but I miss the outdoors. I mean, all the outdoor activities that we have, especially in the summertime. Because I follow you guys like buskers. I follow like the marathon. I follow food festivals. None of that happened this year. It's
Yeah,
but what other than producing, you're still living downtown, Kyle?
I am right now. Yeah, I'm moving soon just for the winter. I'm gonna go spend some time in BC, just taking the nature and stuff because the work I do have, I can do it remotely, so I figure I might as well do it somewhere nice.
Oh, do you have family in BC?
My dad, yeah, in
Oh,
Victoria,
awesome.
so I'm gonna stay with him for a
Well,
few months. And
it's a lot milder out there, right?
exactly, yeah, can
Yeah.
escape the cold this winter.
Well, tell me what is the trajectory? Of course, the lockdown's not going to be forever.
Hmm.
What are the hopes for you? Tell our audience first of all a little bit about yourself. You're involved in the Juicebox Brass Band. You used to be a member of the Accolades as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about the Juicebox and what is the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, for both ventures.
Right, sure. Yeah, so I met Joey playing through a couple bands that I was in. I went to Humber College to study jazz trumpet, and then after that, I was just playing in I don't know maybe 10 different bands at any given time, just freelancing, subbing in for different people, playing jazz, funk, all sorts of stuff. So one of those projects was the Juicebox Brass Band, and we've kind of over the years built this relationship with Joey. We've been on the show a few times, and since the lockdown, that band has been not not really active. But we do have an EP that we recorded before the pandemic that we'll be releasing this winter, and
Awesome.
I've been doing a lot of producing of my own music. Every year I make a like kind of just like an over the top Christmas cover, just for fun, and then record it all and do a little like homemade music video for it. So I release that every December. This year I'm doing Blue Christmas, and so that will be out probably around December 15th. But you can follow me on Instagram at Kyle Winjack Music. You can also check me out on YouTube, Kyle Winjack, Windjack, and I post a whole bunch of stuff there related to different bands that I'm in. You can stay up to date with that. I'm also working on a full length album of like my own original music that I multi-track all the instruments myself. In addition to trumpet, I play guitar and piano and drums, and I sing. And yeah, so I'm really excited for those projects. I think not being like before the pandemic, I was out gigging every day, and most of it wasn't uh, my music because I would just I would play whatever paid the bills, and I liked it all, and I got to play like wildly different, um, like a vast array of music. Like one night I'd be playing a
Mhm.
reggae festival, and then I'd be doing Juicebox Brass Band the next day, which is sort of like a
Yeah.
New Orleans like street band influence thing. I would do a lot of that kind of stuff, and then I'd be you know with like an R&B band or Motown band the next night. So like all sorts of different stuff, like free jazz, whatever. Um, but but since that's not a thing anymore, I've had a lot more time to work on my own music. So I've finished writing an album, and I'm currently producing it right now. So the first single will be dropping from that in mid February. So yeah, and then I'll every month or two after that there'll be another single from that album coming out.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Kyle. It's your main instrument is trumpet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing the Christmas special, I remember you've done some of those virtual choir, the virtual choir, except it's all you on all the voices.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do
I
you
always do
call,
one of those shots.
what do you call that specific style? Is there a name for it?
Um, I'm sure there is. I just call it like cloning myself. Um,
Self-cloning.
Yeah. So I have a few different ways of doing that. One of them could be using a green screen, and the other one is just like keeping the camera in the same spot, and then you can kind of like cut between the frames and like glue it together, you know.
And then sort of like the opacity, you just blend the
Exactly.
opacity. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always cool to hear those. And I know you can do recording at home. You don't really need to go to a recording studio
Yeah, I've
with all
invested
your
a lot in
production.
my gear here, so I'm pretty
And
lucky to have this
are you in
setup.
the hundreds of thousands already?
No, not that much, but definitely many tens.
But you can go up there. Some people go crazy with.
I would if I could. but but you know, it's crazy the advancement in technology too. Like it's still expensive, but and you know, like the top studios, they still spend millions of dollars, sure, but you can get like some pretty good results for like a lot less, where that, you know, that wasn't possible. Like you can get up and running with some nice gear for like $10,000 or less even, you know, like
Yes.
depends. Like you might not have the versatility because you know, you don't have um like all the different pieces to like do certain techniques or whatever, um but you can make it work for much less. So I think that's kind of opened the floodgates for indie artists and producers and all sorts of people like that. So
Well, you, it's definitely more affordable to at least get a like a demo in, or even a decent ready to sell recording, right? With the having all the gears be more affordable than usual.
mhm.
Yes, you can still spend a lot of money on gears, but it's more reachable in a way. And it every year, doesn't it still keep on, like the cost of certain technologies, certain gears keeps on going down the more people are buying them. I guess it's called the economies of scale. And every year the technology is getting better and better, right?
Yeah, and I think like the quality of the entry level gear has risen dramatically. And
Hmm.
yeah, like when I first started buying studio gear, like I've upgraded now to some pretty like professional grade stuff for some of my gear, but some of it is still like, you know, like is what I can afford to use, and it's quite good for the price. And I'll tell you what, like if you put like a top notch producer in in like anyone's bedroom studio, like it could be my home studio, or like even something more humble, like it could be, you know, somebody with like just a couple $1,000s worth of gear. You put a top producer in there and a good artist, they're
They'll
gonna
still make
come out
good music.
they're gonna come out with something that sounds just as good as the top 40 stuff that they'd be producing in a multi-million-dollar studio, you know. It might take them twice as long
Hmm.
to get it to that point, uh but uh but you could do it.
So in the music industry, skill is still most valuable capital. Understanding principles and having the skill, having the ears for music, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know, I think being locked down helps a lot of musicians probably be able to focus on their own music, and like what you're saying, EPs and LPs. What's the difference again between? Consider me as a low IQ person when it comes to the music
Oh,
industry.
Joey, come on.
When it comes to the business of
Fair
music.
enough.
But what's the difference between an LP and an EP?
uh
Extended.
Yeah, well, LP comes from the term comes from vinyl actually, because the first like before they had LPs, I forget what they were called, but anyways, they could only play like a few minutes on each side of the vinyl,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
you flip it
they
over.
came out with this LP technology. It's just a marketing term. It's long play.
Long play.
Um, so the idea was that you could, instead of only having a few minutes on each side of the vinyl, and now you had like 12 or 15 or something on each side.
Hmm.
Um, so basically an LP is a full length album, and an EP. They're kind of both just marketing terms, honestly. Like EPs just tend to be shorter. Like
Oh,
sometimes EPs are only like 3 or 4 songs, but sometimes an artist will come out with like a 6 or 8 track uh, album, and they call it an EP, where like they could just as easily call it an LP or just not call it an EP, and it would be a regular album. It's kind of is it's a bit arbitrary, but in short, EPs tend to be shorter than full length albums.
and how do you release new releases now? How do you? I think the term for the industry is you're going to drop an EP or drop a single. But how do you do it now? Because back in the day, you produce an LP or the vinyl, and then most recently, maybe from 10 years ago, we do the CD, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then, but how do you do it now? I don't see a lot of. I don't. Is there still a Sam the Record Man where you can actually buy CDs? Because I always listen for my music. I always listen to streaming. Um, Maybe Spotify or radio, like online radio. But how do you release if you're not with a label? Like if you're just releasing your own work, what is the what is the customary way now in today's industry?
Right. Yeah. Most smaller artists won't bother doing physical copies unless um, I don't know. You got to make sure that you're going to be able to sell enough to at least sort of re reimburse yourself for the cost of pressing it, and also the more of them that you can press at once, the cheaper it is per copy. But then you're stuck with like thousands of CDs or whatever, and most people don't really buy CDs, and if they are going to buy them, they're probably going to buy them at live shows, um, because like there's a merch table there and it's convenient. You can walk up, and some people like to have something physical. But yeah, like there might still be some Sam the Record Man somewhere in the world, but the one in Toronto's closed, and I think they might all be closed. And there's
I see a big sign up there though on Dundas Square, but like up in the building. I don't know if they have a store like up in
yeah,
one of the towers there. I see the sign all the way up. I don't know
yeah.
what the sign.
I guess the company must still exist, but I'm pretty sure there's no store in there anymore. So yeah, um, I don't know. Maybe they've sort of pivoted into a different type of distribution. Maybe now they've got a piece of some online distribution. But in short, most indie artists and a lot of bigger artists, honestly, too, are mainly focusing on digital distribution. And the other thing that's changed a lot is people tend to release a lot more singles, because in the digital world, there's so much more. There's so many more options that in order to stay relevant, it's better to be releasing something every couple of months instead. Like you can't really just like disappear for a while, like go like a year or more without releasing an album, and then come out with this like incredible album and release the whole thing all at once. It's not going to work as well as it used to.
You gotta stay in touch with your followers, right? Unlike I think like Julia Roberts, for example. What I heard about her acting in her early years, she will only make one movie a year, and sometimes people tend to kind of look forward. Oh, what is Julia Roberts gonna make this year? So I guess that works for some, but not for most, right? That kind of style of marketing.
Yeah, for sure. And that used to kind of be more the norm. Like people would be like waiting for the new Pink Floyd album, and like it'd be highly anticipated. And then when it came out and it was amazing, everybody went to the record store and they bought it. Um, and I'm not saying that like people don't like there are artists where I'm following them and like when are you gonna drop your new thing and listen to it right away. Um, but they're also, it's not unusual for them to drop like 3, 4, even 5 singles from an album before they release everything. So they'll like, and like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing for my album as well. And this is my first album under my own name. I've been on a lot of other people's albums as a session musician, but I've never made my own until 2020. Go figure. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's a good time to to start a new
So I guess
chapter.
there's a silver lining being locked down for such a long time. You kind of things that you pushed back from before, right? You always
Yeah,
think like I'm someday I'm gonna do it. It's just I have to find the time to do it. All of a sudden you have all the time in the world, and then you get to do things that you are hoping to do
yeah,
in the future, right?
yeah. There are parts of it that I like. I don't want to romanticize it or anything because it does kind of suck. But there are parts of it that I like, and that's one of them. Just having more time to focus on
Well,
artistic
for sure,
pursuits.
99% of this lockdown sucks. I really don't like it.
Yeah,
I need it to be lifted now, like right now. I think people Taiwan didn't have to lock down. They have to mask up, do the social distancing, and we're doing that. And they didn't have to destroy their economy. South Korea and Singapore didn't have to destroy their economy.
yeah.
Our economy sucks here in Canada. But what is the feel? Oh, before I go to that question, and how much time do you have? Do you need to go soon for our conversation? How much time do you have for our chat?
Oh, for me, sorry. I thought maybe you were talking to like a crew member or something, but you're a one-man show over there.
No, 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 I'm the only
I'm
one here.
pretty good. I can keep
Oh,
talking
okay,
for
all
a
right.
while.
All right, because
Yeah.
I got a few questions for you, but I want to respect your time just in case you need to run. Let me know
Uh,
anytime.
today's
Uh,
today's kind of
Slow day.
my chill day, yeah. And I've got a bunch of sessions, and I'm shooting a music video for the Christmas special this week, so I got a bunch of
Oh, when I,
production
when
for that.
when I go like this, it's not I'm looking away from you. I'm actually looking at you because this is my
Right,
this is my only monitor.
right.
I don't have I have a tiny monitor on my camera, but it's so far away. It's so tiny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Before I go to that next question, I was about to ask you. I want to ask you, just kind of following up on what we were just talking about there. But what is the usual way now to drop your new EP or singles or a few songs that you make? Is it Spotify? Is it what is how do you monetize your creation?
Yeah, well, exactly. It's tough, but there. So what most people will do is they'll use a like a third party distribution um, service. So like there's some like DistroKid, which is popular. Although apparently recently they got in shit for like not paying out artists properly. Like
Oh, really?
yeah,
What's the
like
name of the company?
DistroKid.
This is Toronto based.
No, I think it's in the States. But there are a bunch of companies that do what they do, um, which is basically you submit your music to them and you submit all the metadata and all the information that goes along with it, and then they'll put it on like all the platforms for you. So they'll put it on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, um, and like 20 other ones that you haven't heard of, like that are only available in like certain countries or whatever. They'll put it on all of them, right?
But the revenue, is it still based on how many listens to, or is
Yeah.
there like a flat fee? No, it's based on how they make
Well,
to make it
different
popular.
companies have different models. Some of them will be like they'll charge you per song that you want just distributed, or some of them will be they take a percentage of your streaming, or some of them will be a bit of both. So you just got to look into the ones, which one you think is right for you. And then there are also there are some, like SoundCloud is popular, especially for rappers, and Bandcamp is a really
I don't
great one actually.
understand SoundCloud. So how do you monetize on SoundCloud? Is just selling copies or on Sound?
Um, I honestly, I'm not sure. I don't really use that service myself. I just know that a lot of people have had success with it. So I think once you get like, it's similar to YouTube. I think once you get like a certain amount of um, listenership on your material, then you can like qualify for advertisements or something.
Advertising monetization.
Yeah, I think they do that, and
Mm.
then and I think probably all, like some of the bigger ones, like they get attention from major labels and stuff like that. Like it's become um, similar to like if you're like a if you have like 1 million followers on Instagram, you know, you can get companies reaching out to you to do um, like product placement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think if you do really well on that platform, then it can open up some doors. But yeah, I think unfortunately the way streaming services work, there's you need a ton of people listening to your music to make anything substantial. Like you're not going to make a living off that unless you've got like, I don't know the number. I would say probably like close to 1 million people
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, well, even in YouTube, I think only those people who were early on in 2005 actually were making money. But eventually, if you came on the platform, came on board a lot later, it gets number one, it gets overly saturated. Number two, the kind of deals that they make with the newer ones is a lot more strict, and the ratio of I think they used to get they start with 40%, now they're 50% revenue, and then there was a point I heard that they take 60% of the revenue and the creator keeps 40%. So the platform becomes more making more money than the actual artist. So that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. Right?
Yeah.
But
Um,
what's happening with Juicebox? So you said you did an EP and then you're gonna release it in January. But if let's say next summer the lockdown is lifted, what are
we'll
the
be out.
what are just performing more on clubs and stuff?
Yeah, hopefully we can get a lot of our old gigs back. Like we used to have a residency at Drum Taberna. They're still operating. You can go get takeout there. And before this most like recent lockdown, there was always a bunch of cool bands playing on the patio and stuff too. Um, so they're really great. If you're in Toronto, they're at Queen and Spadina. The food's amazing, and they treat bands really well there. So it's a good place to support for like a local business because I want them to still be open in the spring.
Well,
So
the spirit of the ordinary Joe. We wanna promote ordinary individuals, like those non-labels, those who are building themselves from the bottoms up, and even that includes all the mom and pop shops, restaurants, and bars and all that we want to promote because this pandemic is really killing a lot of small and medium-sized businesses. Yet Costco and Walmart and all of them are able to continue on. They actually probably triple or quadruple their net worth because they're benefiting off this lockdown. But the rest
yeah.
of the country is not. What is the general feel in the industry? In the music, you guys are very connected with a lot of bands and a lot of musicians in Toronto, producers and homegrown labels like Akashic, right? I'm sure there's more uh, homegrown labels out there. What is the general feel in the industry about these lockdowns? Is everybody getting tired of it, or are they just we're scared of the virus and let's just listen to WHO? And what is the general feel? Let me know. What do you think?
I I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag, and like I can't really speak for everybody, but like I've definitely um, everybody wants to play. You know, everybody wants to be out there, and like the way people are reacting to it varies from like, like there are some people who think that we should open it all up and just like have parties and go back to the old way of doing things, and then there are other people who think that we should lock down completely so that we can do that sooner rather than making the situation worse. So I don't know. I think like in any industry, like it's just made up of people, right? Like it's not I don't know if it makes much difference if they're musicians or artists. And sure, I guess in the sense that we can't do a lot of what we would normally be doing. So that is somewhat unique, but I think there are, like, even that's not exclusive to artists. There are a lot of people, basically everybody, like this is not normal for anybody, but there are some people where it's like their professions are less affected. Like if you're a web developer or something, you can do that from anywhere. If you're there are a lot of jobs that you can do remotely, which is, I think, a good place to be right now if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's definitely some industries that they can keep working, and many companies actually continuing on to have their employees work from home. But I just feel like um, Canadians are very compliant with the masking and the social distancing. If we have that in place, why do we have to? And apparently, what I heard this year, there were almost zero cases of the regular flu, the influenza.
Hmm.
So that kind of indicates that people are actually doing very well with the washing of hands. We're like little kids, we're being asked to wash our hands, right? All the adults are just okay, we all follow the rules, right?
Yeah.
I came from a country where we question the government all the time, and here we don't like to question the government, but that's fine. It's a different culture. Uh, but everybody's in compliance, and when you have like what they call super spreader, it's either like people's home parties, private parties, not really bars, not really restaurants, not it's not coming from gyms. They have things in place. I believe that live performances should not be. I call the Coca-Cola Center. It used to be. Where's the Coca-Cola Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. I forgot the old name for it. Most people still knows it for its old name, by the CNE. Because I said initially I don't know how long this lockdown's gonna be, so I made inquiries. I said, maybe in the summer the lockdowns will get lifted. So I made some inquiries because there are sometimes I do brokering for live events, just sort of like do legwork for initial inquiries for producers. So I wrote an email to Coca-Cola Colosseum and I asked, maybe now that live events are not as big, maybe did you put a discount on, if we want to just half capacity, let's say a third of the capacity, a concert for a third of the capacity of the Coca-Cola Coliseum, because of this distancing will not allow you to fill it up. I was making an inquiry for a producer in the Philippines who wants to send a big star to Canada, and I asked, did you create some discounts so that this will happen? And the answer I got, the email I got from Coca-Cola Coliseum is that, first of all, they actually bump up their price because they're kind of losing a lot of money. So they added like 30% more than their usual rate. Plus, they will only allow 50 people uh, to, to for an event there. 50 people max. Oh, maybe even less, maybe 30 for that 4,000. I think that's 20,000 seats, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's
It used so I think it used to be the Molson Amphitheater, right? That's the place you're talking about
No, no,
by the
it's
lake.
no. The amphitheater is something else. The Coca-Cola Colosseum used to be called. They used to have hockey trainings there
Okay.
by the CNE, inside the CNE, behind. I forgot the old name.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about there.
Yeah, I forgot the old name. A lot of people still knows it for its old name.
Right.
It's called Coca-Cola Coliseum. It's 20,000 seats, and they they will operate and they will charge you 30% more. Who will do that, right? And then we had this. Have you heard of those drive-in performance, like drive-in movies, drive-in concerts?
Yeah, I've had a few friends who have played in those.
We can make those happen. I just don't know if the math, if the number makes sense, right? But if you have everybody in the family is isolated together, right? So you have a minivan, and you charge by minivan. It's just like the way you charge people in a drive-in movie. I think they make money in drive-in movies. You, in drive-in movies, they charge per car. Do you remember?
I think so. It's been a while since I've been one. It's been to one rather. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I know there's one down there by the docks, right beside the docks.
At
You
Cherry
know
Beach.
the Cherry Beach. Yeah, when
Mhm.
during the day it's a driving range, and at night,
Yeah.
I think at night they open it. They shut down the driving range and they bring the cars in, and they have a big screen there. That's why a lot of those the they're trying to hit the big screen on the driving range there. Remember, there's like a big white board there.
Yeah.
They project movies there at night, and I believe they charge by the car. That would work for live events. Charge everybody by the car. You got like live performers on stage. They can be socially distant from each other. Big
Yeah.
stages can still fill. Anyways, I just cross my fingers. Keep me in prayer, brother. But
Yeah.
hopefully, in about 2 weeks, I'm gonna get back on television. Albeit this is more like Netflix style TV. They have an app which is very good. They have 350,000 downloads of the app all across Canada. So they got good following, and they have like a world class TV studio, but they only allow 10 people at a time in the studio as well. But
Mm.
that would be good enough. I think 10 though, including the cameraman and the directors.
Yeah.
So, but I see like church services there too with the band on stage. But as soon as I get that going, I'd really love to help a lot of our friends, who has like the Juice Box Brass Band and others to come and renew the because you haven't been seen visibly for a while by your followers, and you have got some good following. You have your own Facebook page, right?
Yep.
Juice Box.
Yeah. Juicebox Brass Band.
Yeah. How is it the page right now? Is it active? Is it a lot of traffic?
Um, I don't manage it. Casey does that, but I think since the pandemic, it's been pretty dead in there.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, when it was in summers past, when you're really active, it's also well engaged by your
Yeah.
followers,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
No, so it's just I would say it's just hibernating, and we are all hibernating, but as soon as the sun comes out again, I believe that will kick off again, and you will have the same kind of engagement, wouldn't you think?
hmm Yeah, and I think like once people are allowed to go out and stuff again and go to shows, I think I think a lot of people will be like skeptical and kind of like slow to like, they'll be more cautious or whatever. Um,
Sure.
but I think there will be plenty of people um, who are like really excited to go out and they'll go to the live shows. Like I think it'll be pretty easy to get people out to that kind of thing
Yeah.
once it's open again.
No, because Kyle, similar to what you were saying earlier, like even before the lockdown, you told me like in the industry right now, a lot of people wants to stay in touch with their followers. Even when we didn't have this problem, they would at least do singles and drop it maybe every quarter or every 6 months.
Yeah.
There's cross sound. Did you hear that? Is that there's crosstalk? But
Oh, yeah, I'm not hearing it, but
oh, okay.
I'm also
Uh,
not wearing headphones. So it's probably, you know.
yeah, I don't know where I'm hearing it from, but every 6 months or every quarter, the the idea is to drop something to keep your relationship with your followers fresh, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this will help. That's the reason I want to get a studio to work with, who has all this protocol in place, so that there's no danger in. I'm sure, of course, every band member comes from different households, but everybody's isolating, everybody's locked down. So I'm not really
Hmm.
scared of acquiring. I should be scared because I have underlying conditions. Me and my wife, we're both super overly cautious because I can never have COVID, because most people survives COVID, but people like me that has underlying condition should be more careful, because they're the ones who they're pretty much the only one who dies from this virus. Those who has underlying and older people, not so much the healthy and the young.
Right.
And that's official according to the CDC. It was a little less than uh, the common colds, the common flu. The death rate of it among healthy individuals is even less than the common flu. So I think all the healthy people should not be afraid of it. People like me and elder people should be, yeah, 200% cautious about it. But killing your business, killing people we care about, their businesses of these restaurants, and what are some of the restaurants that you like in the city that won't open back anymore?
That I know won't
Yeah,
open back up because
yeah.
it's not really a restaurant, but the Mod Club closed,
The
which
mod. What is the mod club? What is it?
it's like a, well, I guess it was a medium sized venue, like probably uh Lee's Palace.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
it's around that size.
Oh okay. What about Lee's
Maybe,
Palace? Are they?
maybe a little bit bigger. Actually, yeah, Lee's Palace. Um, I think from what I've heard, Lee's Palace is gonna be okay. Um, but I know that that the Horseshoe is like
Tavern?
struggling a bit, and I think they'll be fine because it's such an iconic venue, and there's people who want to support it, but like depending
Yeah.
on how long it goes, like I think they might try and do some like crowdfunding or something like that.
Yeah, maybe the Indigo. Not an Indigo, but yeah, crowdfunding. There's another one by Dundas and Spadina. What do you call that one again? Freestyle something like. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's one there that's very popular for indie artists. I don't see their lights every time I drive by there. So that's sad, a lot of
Is
this.
it uh, Free Times
Yeah,
Cafe?
Free Times Cafe. Do you
Yeah,
know if they're still gonna survive? Are they gonna survive this lockdowns?
I don't know. I actually never really played there, but I know people who have for sure. Yeah.
What about bands? What about indie artists who produces, make music, and bands? Have you heard of any of the Toronto locals who was knocked out because of the lockdowns, that they won't be performing together anymore, or won't be performing at all anymore?
Well, I guess that remains to be seen when performing is an option again, because basically, like 90% of it's basically knocked out everybody for now. You know, it's just a matter of who's going to come back when that's an option. You know.
Well, Kyle, I hope that everybody will give everybody when this is lifted, and we're like little ants, when the summer comes, they're hibernating, hiding under the ant hills for the winter, and then when the summer comes, oh, everybody just come out and play, right? I think that's what's gonna happen for many of our the industry participants in the music. As
Yeah.
soon as there is a total lift of the lockdown, I think we'll see double of the street performances, double the club performances. I hope that the comeback is is 10 times more intense, because it's like a pent up demand that we want to celebrate life, we want to celebrate music, and when that finally that um, total lift of the lockdown come upon us, everybody will just overcompensate, I think, and we'll be we'll be having parties day and night on the street. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that seems pretty likely. Yeah.
Oh, we should be resilient like that. Let's hope for the best. you know um
It'll become a national holiday the day that the lockdown is lifted.
what they should do is every weekend maybe they shut down one of the roads so that everybody can just be there. Like I think Mayor Tory were trying that for King Street, right? He kind of minimized the traffic on King Street.
Huh.
There's only street cars, and I know in Europe sometimes during the summer especially, they will lock down a couple of streets so that it become a walking road. They detour all the cars
Yeah.
and have just support all the local businesses, support all the local musicians, have them play there. Yeah, man. But I can't wait to see you guys again performing on the streets. I can't wait for. I remember one time I saw you guys performing by Bay and Blur when they had those. Remember where you guys? Was it you or? Yeah, yeah, it was you guys when they had those nice cars lined up on Blur. Remember that time? I think it's
Oh yeah, yeah. They would
was it
do
a
that.
Father's Day thing?
Yeah, that happens pretty often actually. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember like a few times we would be busking and there'd be like yeah, like car clubs out or like sometimes bike clubs, and they get together and just go for a ride.
Did you made it when we did the Manila for the Bon Fiesta Extravaganza? Were you there with us?
I wasn't. I forget why. I think I had another gig because I
Oh
was
yeah, you didn't make it, right?
yeah, yeah, because I was that was the accolades, right? I was in the accolades at that point,
Yeah,
and I remember yeah, I remember that gig happening, but for some reason I was
I think you were double book or something.
yeah, I was maybe touring with another band or something for that
Yeah,
week.
because I know you kind of borrow each other's
Yeah,
players for certain gigs,
yeah.
but 2002, mark your calendars, brother, because 2022. They're trying for 2021, but that big event on Bathurst and Wilson called the Taste of Manila. I forged a relationship with the founder,
Hmm.
and so they got shut down for 2020. Everybody got shut down. 2021, he was trying to get ready for it. 2021 summer, but it looks like it's not gonna be happening again. Uh, it might happen, but it's gonna be tiny. They're just gonna they have to redo the whole thing. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of like helping him find some investors, because their main investor is the same client I was talking to you about, the big network in the Philippines. That's
yeah,
their main investor, and they got shut down. Now they don't have their main sponsor. So I'm trying to find them a good sponsor, and I might, because I'm helping with that, them with that, they might allow me to bring in some of the groups that I like.
Right.
So that'll be exciting, and I'll definitely, because that 2019, before they got shut down, they have 400,000 people on the streets to go to that event. That's a big. That's the biggest. They say that's the biggest Filipino event outside of the Philippines. Street event, anyways. So, um, I actually think it's next to the Taste of the Danforth, because the Taste of the Danforth is about 1 million per year.
Is it really that much?
Yeah,
Oh, like per
it's
day or
big.
for all the?
No, for all the summer.
Right.
Because the Taste of the Danforth starts from Broadview all the way to um what do you call that? It's in the tip of my tongue. Center, I think Center Street. There's a station there. I forgot. Yeah, but really further back, almost near McDonald's. There.
Right.
That's how long. That's like 4 kilometers.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
no,
It's like
that's
when it's that many people, it's hard to it's hard to grasp numbers because I
yes.
remember that was the first time and maybe the only time I've played for some big audiences, but I think that was the first and maybe the only time where I remember being on. I was playing the main stage there, and I remember being on stage and just
It's packed.
looking out, and it was like broad daylight. It was like maybe like 4 p.m. or something that we were playing.
Yeah.
Uh, and I remember just like looking out, and there was just people until the horizon, and then there was probably way more people beyond that. Like,
And they're all looking at the stage. They're watching the stage, or
yeah. Well, I mean, like once you like, because I can see for like a kilometer, right? Like
wow.
all the way down this street, and it's just faces, just the whole fucking way.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can swear on the show, but I just did.
we'll bleep it. Oh, we're live anyway, so we cannot bleep it anymore. It's out there.
Yeah.
We cannot pull it back.
But yeah,
Um,
it was wild to just like uh
so
to
that's the
experience.
biggest audience ever for your performance that you experienced.
Because that was certainly one of them. Well, if there was 1 million people there, then definitely that. But I don't know. I did like uh, I played the anthem in in a brass band for the opening of the Labor Day Classic one year, which is like
What is that?
it's the like the CFL.
Oh, that's big. Is that
Yeah.
at the BMO Center or at
No, it was at the Saddle Dome. I don't know if they I don't know if it's still called that, but the Calgary Stampeders Stadium.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's big. Wait,
Yeah. So I don't know how many
so
people.
you guys went to Calgary?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So
You should try for the Toronto Raptors too when everything's back.
yeah, I was like one sub call away from playing at the finals a few years ago.
What, the 2019?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a big one, man.
I was so jealous. Like all my friends were like in the stadium for
Really?
every
What
game.
happened?
Yeah.
Why did you get it? Like, is it the juice box or?
No, that was what are they called? The Hitmen brass band or something like that.
Oh, they needed you to fill in for the trumpet, or?
Well, there was um there was like a spot opening, and the guy who couldn't make that gig or whatever, he suggested to the band leader, he suggested me.
To call you?
Yeah, but I'd never met the band leader, so if I had met that guy before and he'd heard me play, he'd probably be like, yeah, let's call him. And he's like, okay, like I'm sure he's good. I've got one other guy in mind that I'm gonna call first, and then if he can't make it, then we'll call your guy. And sure enough, the other guy can make it, so I didn't get it. But
so they called the other guy first before they called you.
yeah.
You should have sent him like a video demo right away. Hey, dude, look how good I am.
Yeah.
Just watch this video. Let me get on the. Is this? You're talking about the one at the city hall when they had the homecoming, or
I'm talking
where
about
did they perform?
like the actual series. They would play.
Oh, in
They
the
would
actual
play.
game.
Yeah, they would play like before the game. They would play in the stadium, and then uh, also at halftime, and then during the game, during commercials, they would play on that big stage in uh, what's it called? Jurassic Park.
Yes, Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would go to Jurassic Park just to like hang out and watch all my friends play on the stage and watch the game and stuff. But
Oh man, that would
yeah,
have been
but
like.
yeah, it was like all the people in that band, except for like there's like maybe two or three of them that I didn't know, but they were all like good
Oh
friends
my
of mine, and just
goodness,
like
man.
it was cool to see them get to do it. It was just like, oh, it's so close, you know.
Well, there
I
was
met
one.
Barack Obama.
Well,
Yeah,
oh, is
and
that
he's
when
the
Barack
Raptors.
Obama was watching the Raptors? Well, he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
rooting for the Americans for sure. But he has roots in Toronto. I can't remember. There must be. Yeah, yeah. There's something about that particular day when he was watching. I think he is something about Toronto. Oh, yeah. Kobe Bryant dad worked. Kobe Bryant's dad apparently played for the Raptors at one point.
really. I don't know that.
I think, and that's why Kobe Bryant was it. Oh, maybe I'm mixing them up, but anyways, yeah, I'm not accurate about those facts. Don't don't quote me for it. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of since the Toronto Raptors became champions. I'm the only Filipino who doesn't watch a lot of basketball. I'll admit to it, because it's okay for me. For me, the after the era of Michael Jordan has passed, basketball didn't become like center stage for me. But when the Toronto Raptors became champions again, and even leading up to the championship, man, I was excited about basketball again. And
Yeah.
there was a group actually that played for the Taste of Manila that I met, that I actually featured in one of my episodes. They played for the Toronto Raptors. They're called they're four, two females, two male dance singing group. They're not a band, but they're very popular on YouTube. They got like 2 million views on YouTube. So I just can't remember them now. But the day before they performed for the Toronto Raptors, we were having coffee here on Sinclair and Young.
Hmm.
And this is one of your favorite. I know this is one of your favorite spots, right? For the
Young and
juice
St.
box,
Clair, yeah.
Young and St. Clair. But that place where you stand in front, is the door of the Scotia Bank. They
Yeah.
renovated the whole thing, eh?
Oh,
That
really?
Yeah,
I didn't
that
know.
building's gonna look like world class, fashionable building because
Huh.
they started tearing down the boarding. They boarded it up when they're fixing it. They're
Uh,
starting to tear down the boards, and I can see it's all glass from floor to ceiling.
uh,
Glass now.
they probably put some anti-busker infrastructure in there too.
Oh, it's definitely gonna look world class now. So they might be like, huh?
Well, they were already trying to get rid of us.
They
You know,
were.
yeah, like it's funny, like that whole like community, like all the people who lived there, they loved having us there, but the Scotiabank was like uh, always giving us a hard time, and they were I think at one point they even like threatened to
To call
file like
a
a
complaint.
like a lawsuit or something, and
But
then we
they're,
looked into it and
they're
we're like we're not on their property. There's nothing.
yeah. There's the as long as you're on their property ends where maybe 2 steps away from their door, from their it's gonna be a revolving door. Looks like now in that corner though.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's funny. There's like a line on the sidewalk where it's like we knew that we
city
couldn't
property.
literally if we stepped onto that like
It's their
piece of the
property.
sidewalk while we were playing, we could like so especially after they like really started giving us a hard time, we're like we need to be careful not to like accidentally like step onto this and then like they get a video of us playing like like 2 feet onto their property, and then they've got something on us.
But yeah, let me tell you, you're the only band I see playing. I don't see any other bands playing. Uh, I would say 2017 was probably the year that brass bands on Toronto streets became more popular.
Yeah, I think there were.
I
That's
just I
probably
just
about.
remember I have a 3 o'clock appointment. Huh?
Oh
I
yeah, what time is it?
Yeah, yeah. 2:53. So I got 2 more minutes. I forgot. I have a rehearsal for. I'm hosting a webinar for a sales blitz of a client, but I
Oh, okay,
totally slipped my mind. We got like 2 more minutes to wrap it up.
cool.
But
Um,
you guys should. I know that Sobeys, really close to the Scotia Bank, and also Loblaws will actually hire buskers to actually, and they'll give them stage and give them speakers. If you go, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. Do these businesses need to make it official? When they make it official, it kind of drive away those who are the authentic buskers, right?
well, yeah, but you get paid more.
You
So
get paid more.
I like a lot of times when we have a good relationship with the BIA at Young and St.
Mm.
Clair.
Yeah.
So like, um, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's like inauthentic or whatever. Like a lot of times they would give us, like, we would go there just not for free, but like just for tips sometimes,
Yeah.
and we would make decent money. And then there
Yeah.
would be other times where it's like, okay, we'll give you $1,000 to play at this spot for 4 hours, plus you get the tips that like you can do what you normally do. So it's just like an extra little bonus, so that even
Yeah.
if it's a slow day, that like at least you have that
Well,
that
that's
extra.
great.
Yeah.
You got to keep those relationships up. Hey, dude, just running out of time, but can you drop your socials again for all our listeners?
Yeah.
And
So
I'd like to invite you again. Whenever you have an opportunity, come by. Just stop by. We'll just like this, chit chat, no scripts, no preparation, nothing. Just anytime you can drop by. But drop your socials right now for all our.
sure. Yeah. So we'll do another one in a couple weeks when
Let's
when
do it. Yeah.
Christmas special's about to drop. I'll come on to promote that. But yeah, check me out on YouTube, Kyle Winjack. I've got some educational music content for musicians, and I interview a lot of local jazz musicians, and then I've also got some original music and some covers up there. And then so that's Kyle Winjack on YouTube, and on Instagram I'm Kyle Winjack Music, and that'll keep you up to date with everything I'm doing.
And there you go, folks. Our guest today is Kyle Winjack, the trumpet man of the Juicebox Brass Band, but you play more than just trumpet. He's a producer. He plays so many more. He's got a drum set right behind him, you can see, and piano and everything. He knows the whole gig. If you need some songs composed or produced for your business, a jingle, whatnot, give my friend a call. And thanks for the time you spent with us, Kyle. This is not the last time. We'll see you again in about a couple weeks, hopefully. And hook me up with some of the other band members. We need to talk to them, promote them, uh, keep them fresh in the minds of our listeners and viewers. All right, buddy.
Beautiful. Thank you for having me on, Joey.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm your host, Joey Salvador, and you've been watching the Afternoon Freestyle Indie in Toronto right here on the Ordinary Joe Show. God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye. Take care, buddy. See you later, man.
Good night.
There you go, folks. That was Kyle Winjack, just running late for a client's event. So I'll talk to you again soon. God bless you all. Take care. Bye bye.